Welcome to The Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining me today because, well, we're diving into one of the most critical, literally fast-moving topics in business tech right now. We're talking about navigating the rapidly shifting AI legal landscape. If you've been following the news even a little bit, you know governments everywhere are just racing to regulate artificial intelligence. Today, we're zeroing in on two massive pieces of legislation, the EU AI Act and Colorado's SB 26-189. We'll look at how they're similar, how they are completely different, and most importantly, how your organization can navigate them without drowning in endless legalese. Okay, let's dive into this.
But before we get into the theory, let's ground this in some very tangible, high-stakes business reality. Check out this number: 35 million euros, or up to 7% of global annual revenue. That is the maximum penalty for the most serious violations under the new EU AI Act. 7%. We are no longer talking about gentle recommendations or, abstract ethical thought experiments here. We're talking about massive, company-altering financial penalties. The stakes are incredibly real.
So, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, the new regulatory frontier. Second, the EU AI Act versus Colorado. Third, key differences in approach. Fourth, the shared governance destination. And finally, number 5, the path forward.
Section 1. The new regulatory frontier. The stakes have changed. For the past few years, we've been living in what you could basically call the Wild West of AI experimentation. But make no mistake, that Wild West has officially come to a close. The era of ungoverned AI is just over. We're experiencing a fundamental shift right now. Think about it. Over the last 5 years, responsible AI was mostly treated like a PR initiative, right? Just a set of broad, totally optional ethical principles slapped on a company's website. Well, today, we are transitioning from those optional principles to strict, enforceable consumer rights and real oversight mechanisms. Responsible AI is now a legally binding imperative that reaches into every single corner of the enterprise.
Moving on to Section 2, EU AI Act versus Colorado, comparing the heavyweights.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core philosophical split between these two frameworks. The EU AI Act takes a broad, highly technical, risk-based approach. It literally classifies AI systems into 4 distinct tiers based on potential harm. We're talking everything from outright banned applications all the way down to minimal risk tools that are largely left alone. On the flip side, Colorado's SB 26-189 kind of ignores those technical risk tiers entirely and takes a hyper-focused, incredibly consumer-centric approach. It targets the actual consequence of the AI's decision. So if your AI impacts high-stakes domains that fundamentally change people's lives, like employment, housing, lending, or healthcare, that's exactly where Colorado steps in to regulate it.
Section 3. Key differences in approach, operational mechanics.
So the crucial point here is understanding your organization's legal identity. One of the absolute most consequential distinctions in both frameworks is the difference between a provider and a deployer. An AI provider is the one who builds the system, but a deployer, that's the organization that integrates and actually uses that system day to day. And listen to me on this, most large enterprises are deployers. If you buy an AI HR tool off the shelf from a major cloud vendor, guess what? You are the deployer. And that designation carries a massive, hidden burden of impact assessments, continuous monitoring, and mandated human review. You simply can't just outsource your compliance to your software vendor anymore. No way.
Just look at how deeply these obligations penetrate the entire organization. I mean, this is absolutely not just an IT problem. In human resources, AI hiring tools now require mandatory, totally independent bias audits. Over in finance, the Colorado law demands a strict 3-year record retention for any automated consequential decisions. 3 years, meaning you have to keep the inputs, the outputs, and the impact assessments on file for all that time. And in marketing, get ready for strict new transparency rules. If a customer is talking to a chatbot or reading AI-generated promotional content, you are literally legally obligated to disclose that it's automated.
This actually brings up a fascinating point, particularly in HR. Let's call it the illusion of human review. Both of these laws guarantee consumers and employees the right to a human appeal. But consider this. A recruiter who just mindlessly clicks approve on a ranked list generated by an algorithm, that is absolutely not providing meaningful human review. Regulators will see right through a rubber stamp process like that in a heartbeat. For human review to be legally compliant, the reviewer must have real access to the underlying data, they have to be trained to evaluate it critically, and, this is key, they need the actual authority to override the AI's recommendation.
Meanwhile, the burden falling on the IT department is just staggering. It's like a giant puzzle they have to solve. IT is now legally required to map out all the shadow AI across the company, meaning they have to find every single unauthorized generative AI tool that employees might be quietly using. And it doesn't stop there. They have to secure these systems against completely unique AI threats. Traditional cybersecurity just doesn't cover AI-specific vulnerabilities like prompt injection attacks or training data poisoning. So IT basically has to build entirely new security pipelines from the ground up.
Okay, Section 4, the shared governance destination, converging paths. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the huge sigh of relief it should bring you. You do not need to build two separate compliance programs. Organizations that build a single, unified governance architecture are going to satisfy both frameworks simultaneously. Treating them as separate compliance checklists will just result in a massive headache of duplicate work. But a unified structure, that brings efficiency, it drastically reduces your legal exposure, and it creates a highly defensible posture globally.
When we strip away all these specific regional jargon, the shared core requirements of both laws become crystal clear. They both demand executive accountability and genuine active board oversight. They both require totally transparent consumer notification whenever AI is being used. They both mandate clear opt-out rights, independent algorithmic impact assessments, and, as we discussed earlier, guaranteed access to a meaningful human appeal. At the end of the day, accountability, transparency, and consumer rights form the absolute unbreakable core of any compliant enterprise, regardless of what jurisdiction you're in.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, the path forward, a unified roadmap.
The very first thing you need to understand here is the timeline. The EU AI Act is already active with staggered deadlines approaching really fast. But look at Colorado SB 26189. Enforcement begins on January 1, 2027. Now, considering today is May 26, 2026, that January 1st deadline is literally just around the corner. That gives organizations roughly 7 months to get their systems completely inventoried, audited, and compliant. The urgency for organizations to start their comprehensive audits today honestly cannot be overstated. The clock is absolutely ticking.
Let's move to and see how this builds into a practical, unified roadmap. We can actually break this whole shebang down into 3 phases. Phase 1, covering your first 6 months, is all about discovery. You really have to hunt down that shadow AI, conduct your risk assessments, and establish your board committee. Phase 2 is policy and control implementation. This is where you roll up your sleeves and actually build the human review workflows, update your consumer notification templates, and lock down vendor management standards. Finally, Phase 3 is continuous monitoring. You see, AI governance isn't just a project with an end date. It's a continuous culture of oversight, requiring annual audits and real-time incident response forever. To wrap things up, I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative question. When you look at the EU AI Act and Colorado's SB 26189, are you treating AI regulation as just another compliance tax, or are you seeing it as a strategic capability build? The organizations that are going to win the next decade absolutely won't view these laws as a constraint on innovation. Instead, they'll view disciplined, transparent AI governance as the essential foundation for sustainable innovation and unshakable market trust. It's a tremendous opportunity, a real game changer if you build it right. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to take these insights straight back to your leadership teams today.